I do know, say 1,400 hours. We've got any members online? Is Steve okay? Right, okay, everybody. Welcome to this hub meeting. We will get started. So apologies for absence, Mr. White.
Thank you, Leader. Good afternoon, members. We've got an apology for absence from Councillor Elliott. Thank you.
Right. Declarations of interest is item 2. Does anybody have anything they need to declare? No. Item 3. I have no items requiring urgent attention. Mr. White?
That's correct, thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Right, so we need to confirm the minutes of the meeting held on the 9th of September. So I will go through them. So page 1, page 2, 3 and 4. I'm happy to put those minutes forward.
Happy to second.
Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you very much.
Carried, thank you, Leader.
I assume, as there's nobody I don't recognise in the room, that we have no public questions.
That's correct, none received, thank you, Leader.
Right. So if we can now go to pages 5 to 10 for the Forward Plan Committee. There's a lot on the agenda for today. And our next meeting is on the 2nd of December. So is everyone quite happy with the papers that are coming forward? Okay, so we will note that January and March have a lot already, so it's a bit worrying. So is everybody happy with the forward plan? Right, so we now come to item 7, which is pages 11 to 32 of our agenda, which is the medium-term financial plan. And under the budget setting process for this year. So I'm happy to introduce the report. We are ably assisted today by Mrs. Henstock in the absence of our Section 151 officer, Mrs. Buckle. So this report sets out the Council's medium-term financial strategy, the MTFS, for the next 3 financial years, 26-27 to 28-29. It is based on a financial forecast over a rolling 3-year time frame to 2028-2029. The report sets out that the forecast budget gap for 2026 to 2027 is £218,835. which breaks down to 2.4% of the projected net budget for 2026-2027 of £9.283 million. The budget gap is normal for this point in the financial planning cycle and is a manageable level at 2.4%. For example, at this time last year, the Council had a budget gap of 2.6%. The MTFS has taken into account the local government reforms that are expected for next year, namely the introduction of the Fair Funding Review, a reset of the business rates baseline, the end of the new homes bonus scheme. We won't know our exact levels of funding until the local government finance settlement is announced just before Christmas. So there are many uncertainties in preparing for the challenges we know we will face in the near future. In terms of the assumptions in the financial modelling, it has been assumed that the limit of a council tax increase for the Borough Council will continue to be 2.99%. This would increase the West Devon Borough Council element of the council tax from £269.41 to £277.46 for years 2026-2027. This is an increase of £8.05 for 2026 to 2027. A 1% increase in council tax equates to £60,000 for West Devon Borough Council. I have to say, I remember the days it only raised £19,000. which is going back a little bit. It might be that the council may have to use a small amount of reserves to potentially bridge any gaps in funding in years 2026 to 2027 and future years. Further work on the budget will continue to be carried out by officers and members in the lead up to Christmas. Heads of service have already identified some savings, efficiencies and additional income as set out in the report, and this work will continue. Just before I do hand over to questions and Mrs. Henstock, we talk about in here the pooling of the business rates, and there is actually an update that Mrs. Henstock will give us from this report. The meeting was held last Friday. So after this agenda was printed, so we will receive that update. So far, does anybody have any questions? Councillor West.
I am assuming that the reduction in earmarked reserves as of March 2026 is as a result of the spending on the up-and-coming train hub in Oakhampton. So you've got earmarked reserves at 12,390,000 as of March 2025, but that has then dropped down to 9,831,000. So that's a substantial drop of about just 2 and a bit million. Is that as a result of the new transport hub in Oakhampton?
Mrs. Henstock, or would Mr. Brooke like to answer?
The Oakhampton hub is not from reserves, that's from funding we're getting externally. So the expenditure we've modelled for the year, including things for the council plan. So that is fully funded, and that is funded from reserves. So that will be a large bulk of that reserve expenditure.
Thank you.
Right. Mrs. Henstock, would you like to go through some other points, particularly the business rates?
Thank you, Chair. I think it's just important to note that this is very early in our financial planning cycle. As Councillor Ewing said, we don't know what our finance settlement will be until next month, nearer to Christmas. So we're working on the best modelling we've got at the moment. And although there is that relatively small budget gap of 2.4%, 218,000, that reflects no reduction in core service delivery, and the council plan is still fully funded. So it's actually quite a good position to be in. There is that budget gap which we absolutely need to meet, and we need to bridge that, and we'll work on that in the coming months. But just really wanted to put it into a bit of context for members. In terms of the business rates pool, so we're expecting the business rates baseline reset to happen from April 2026. So we have done some modelling with our business rates advisor, LG Futures. They have advised us that it wouldn't really make sense to pool for the first year because we've lost all that growth, so there's a big risk. Nobody really knows what their position is going to be. But for the time being, provisionally, we have to say whether we want to be part of the Devon pool by the 15th of November. All Devon authorities have been advised to say, yes, we will be part of that pool because there is the risk that that baseline reset might be delayed. So if we say, no, we're not going to be part of the pool, and then the baseline reset is delayed, we will lose out financially. So it's better to, for now, say that we would like to be part of that pool. And then when the finance settlement comes out, it is going to be from April 2026. We still have time to actually withdraw, and all Devon authorities would do the same thing because we all have to be in agreement to pool or not to pool. So, yeah, hope that helps.
Does anybody have any questions? No. The recommendations are up on the screen. Mr. White, have you added about the business rates pooling that we like to be part of it, so we're covered in this meeting by it, and then come January/February hub meeting we can withdraw if that is what we need to do. But at this stage we need to show somewhere within the minutes that we have actually agreed part of the pooling scheme.
A couple of minutes, draft something for the screens, Chair. Thank you.
Amongst yourselves. Mrs Henstock, are you happy with that wording for E? And it does say at this stage, so it does allow us to pull out if needed. Councillor Edmonds, do you want it worded a bit more strongly, or?
I was only going to say whether we say subject to the announcement of the finance settlement, because that's what it all hinges on, really, isn't it? If that's
We also know that, or I do, and I'll tell you all, that apparently that funding announcement is actually going to be the week of Christmas. They are going right to the wire, is what I heard at the LGA last week. Okay, so now we have the addition of little e to the recommendations. I'm happy to move. May I have a seconder, please?
Very happy to second.
Thank you. Any debate? Anybody? Councillor Moody, please.
Thank you, Leader. I would just like to say thank you to everybody who's put together this report, and Councillor Edmonds as well for his input to this. It is so encouraging to see that we're in such a position. And as I say, I appreciate all the work that everyone has put into this. Thank you.
I completely concur. Councillor Edmonds is now probably going to say, but I don't do that much. But I will let him say.
Well, I thought I'd better say it before someone else does. So, but you're right, Councillor Ewan, and thank you, Councillor Moody. But really, the credit must go to the the finance team, and not just for this exercise. This is, the outcome of consistent number of years in looking after the finances and keeping us in this strong position. So, my thanks to all the team as well.
I think we also need to add a thanks to the heads of services who have really drilled down into their cost codes to see where they can make savings. So I think if you could pass that on, please, Mr. Chief Exec, that actually the heads of services have really had to, in the last couple of years, we have applied pressure on them to really drill down to see where there can be savings made. And last year, I think they blew us away with the savings that were able to be made because they were far higher than the targeted figure that we asked for. And I realise that won't happen every year, but, it is good that it has. Councillor Evans.
I agree. Can I just add, and that's not to the detriment of service levels. And I presented to ONS last month the key performance indicators, and there were only 3 marginally below, and 2 of those were outside of the council's control. So, the performance is still good despite having to make those sort of economies of scale.
I think not only the savings, but its efficiencies. I think, and that's what it comes down to. Thank you.
I was only going to say most of what has been said. Yes, big backup, big applause, and also very happy to support this now that we've got little E in there as well. Thank you.
Councillor West, please.
Yes, I remember when I started, we were talking about the cliff edge for this year, if you remember, and we were talking really, really dire numbers when it came down to it. And I know, having been in public service for a bit, they tend to close a bit, but we were in that situation, so it is a real credit to everybody on the council office and everybody how we've managed to get this close at this stage to it. So thank you and well done, everybody.
Right, may I ask for a show of hands, all those in favour, please?
It's unanimous. Thank you, Leader, as per the screens. Thank you.
Thank you. We can now move to item 8, which is the Oakhampton interchange update, which is Councillor Jury, please.
Thank you, Chair. Members, I'm very pleased to present this update on the Oakhampton interchange, a transformational infrastructure project that is not only on time and within budget, but already delivering visible progress on the ground. It stands as a prime example of effective partnership between local and national government, with substantial levelling up funding and close coordination between West Devon Borough Council and Devon County Council. This committee will note the benefits already taking shape through completed highway works and ongoing station construction. This project is more than just a transport upgrade. The interchange will unlock long-term opportunities for the wider region by enhancing connectivity, reducing rural isolation, and supporting sustainable growth in our towns and communities. With the anticipated May 2026 opening, we are securing a vital economic and social link for residents, improving access to jobs, education, healthcare, and tourism. It also plays a crucial role in our wider ambitions around decarbonisation and active travel, offering a genuine alternative to car dependency. On behalf of West Devon Borough Council and this committee, I want to record how proud we are of the delivery team and our partners for getting this over the line, and to emphasise our continued support for infrastructure that strengthens West Devon's future as a connected, resilient and thriving rural community. I'd be happy to take any questions on the paper.
Any questions, anybody? I would just like to comment that this has been an absolutely inspirational but totally successful project for West Devon and for Oakhampton itself. The numbers travelling on the train far exceed where they were given for their 5-year target that was hit within about 18 months. Having travelled on the train a few times, it's a really good service, and connectivity to other trains, the Exeter, sometimes will hold a train almost and things like that. So, if the London train is running a bit late, they can sometimes hold back the Oakhampton train and things like that. So we are so lucky to have had this delivered. And for one, I can't wait until we get the Tavistock to Plymouth train put into place, because we can show Network Rail, Devon County Council and the other groups who control funding, etc., and the government, that we can deliver as West Devon Borough Council. We are the accountable body and we have delivered on this project, and it's something that West Devon should be very proud of. And Mr. Brooke, before your departure, that is something that you can have on your CV, that is a really fantastic success for a project that's been delivered. And thank you for all that you have put into this. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions, please? Okay, I'm happy to propose.
Second the recommendation.
Thank you,
Chair.
Councillor Jury. Does anybody wish for any debate? Councillor Renders.
Very quick comment on the visit out there. Very impressed at the way that thing's coming along there. It seems to have gone from nothing to really taking shape now. It's excellent. It's really worth a bit of praise.
Councillor West.
I agree with you, Leader, that this could prove a quite valuable blueprint in terms of how we can take things forward from ourselves in Tavistock into the Plymouth link, and it will just build in that resilience that we need within our rail systems. We know 10 years ago or so, when we were all watching the railway tracks swinging at Dawlish. So yeah, I welcome this, and I'm pleased to see it, and I hope that it will give us impetus in terms of developing our own links to Plymouth. Thank you.
Councillor Jury, please.
I think you've said it all, Chair. So just wanted to reiterate that. And yeah, the great work that's come from Mr. Brooke and his team, the finance team here, Devon County Council, GWR and Network Rail. It's been a brilliant project, and I hope the line goes from strength to strength.
Thank you, Councillor Jury. Everyone happy to vote? See all those in favour, please.
That's unanimous for noting. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. We can move now to page 45, and this is the private sector housing update, HUG and Warmer Homes scheme. Mr. Sexton is not available to be with us today, and neither is Mr. Luscombe. So our lead officer for this today is Mr. Brooke. So we're now making him work.
Thank you, Leila. Good afternoon, everyone. The paper you have before you asks you to note the success this council has had within the Homes Upgrade Grant programme. You may remember that we went through a lot of this with Dave Sexton when he was available, of what we'd done, what we hadn't done, the problems that he'd had set it up in its instigation, and he went through quite a few of the problems that they had and the success stories. So it's a shame he's not here again today, because it would have been nice to heap a little bit more praise on him. He's also been the author of the paper that I've got in front of me, or we've all got in front of us today. It gives a detailed look at the successes that the HUG programme has across the borough, with statistics, testimonials, and also photographs. And I think there's a link to a video as well in there, or there was. The paper also outlines the replacement programme, which is the Warmer Homes local grant. And this aims to build on the success of the HUG programme, and actually starting in October with the initial cases being the remainder of the old Homes Upgrade cases that we had on board. I'd like to personally thank the team for all their sterling efforts. I think it's a time for praise on this again. And know that all the skills we have learnt on the old programme will be used to ensure that we build on our successes. You've mentioned that Chris Brooks is, I've written that down here as well, who's made himself available should there be any questions. So thank you, Leader. So can I propose the recommendation as per the screen?
I'm happy to second. So are there any questions, members? Councillor Jury, please.
Thank you. I'm sure that many members and other people listening will be aware that recently in the news there have been a number of very high-profile cases where retrofit work has been carried out on homes, and it has led to severe difficulties and problems. Is there any anecdotal evidence of anything like that happening on any of the retrofitting that we've been involved in? Or is it all looking as though it's still beneficial at the moment?
Not that I'm aware, but I don't know if Mr. Brooks has.
Yeah, thank you. So the issues that have been in the press have been around the things that have been directly funded from the energy companies to the public, whereas this has been much more regulated, hugely more regulated, because it's gone through the council and community energy groups. So that's the first differential. But in terms of our quality control and feedback, of the 85 properties across South Hams and West Devon, there is one where we have got some minor defect work, which we are working on. But that's all, and it's not related to the same issues that you've raised.
Thank you. That's really good to hear. I expected nothing less, but it's very good to hear. Thank you.
It's reassuring to hear, I think is the word. I had a question, and I think I know the answer, is we discussed, as we've been going through the HUG programme, about being able to monitor individual schemes for promotions stroke case studies because we couldn't get as many for West Devon. But I'm fairly confident in saying that under the new scheme and the way it will be carried out, we will have more interaction with the clients to build a relationship so that they are happy to be case studies, promotions, etc. Is that correct, Mr. Brooke?
Thank you. Yes, I can confirm that that is the case. It's critical that the client management, one of our lessons learned from this, although it was very successful, you obviously rightly want to look to ensure it can be the best it can be. But one of the lessons learned was around how we can work with the individuals, because it's really disruptive for them. And that engagement is something we're really focusing on. We're going to do that through having an independent assessor that's act as us, but also then Dave Sexton is going to visit a number of these properties, an increased number than he did already. So we're tightening that up. It does two things. One, it cements that individual relationship, which will lead to what you want, which is people that want to advocate for it, because that's so beneficial. But also to apply that extra independent level of check and balance in terms of just quality assurance. Again, we don't have issues with quality assurance, but you've always got to stay on top of it. So that's the plan.
Thank you for that. And I realise that for some of the case studies I've read and looked at, a lot of these are quite elderly people. And as you say, the disruption to their lives must be quite incredible. If some people have had to move out for a week or whatever, it is hugely disruptive. Particularly people who've lived in their house for 40, 50 years and bless them, haven't kept up with some of the things for modern living. And to have the reductions on their heating and energy bills must be incredible. I'm amazed at the number of heat pumps that have gone into homes and things like that. I think it's been hugely successful, and I wish we could shout about it a bit louder. So we've had a vote on that. Any more comments for debate? Councillor West, please.
I'm just looking at the breakdown of the number of homes, year 1, year 2, year 3. Considering it's a continuation, I know it's not exactly the same scheme, but considering it's a continuation of the previous scheme, can you explain why the numbers have dropped in year 1?
Yeah, thank you, Councillor West. So the problem with it is that it is not a exact continuation, which would have been what we would have liked. What we would need, really, is a 10-year pipeline or a 100-year ongoing pipeline. What we actually had was a programme that was fractionally better than the previous one, but not great. And then having gone up and represented the case along with a number of other councils to the ministers and said, this is not working, it needs to be longer, it needs to be a 3-year window. That's now what we've got. So we're able to continue with the governance structure that we have and the support from the Community Energy Partnership, which is so critical, and we've led on that independent check and balance that I mentioned earlier. What we haven't been able to continue with is the engagement with the public, because up until it was recently announced, there was no funding. So unfortunately, we've got the tail end of the previous one to go for, which allows us to get it out there, get it known about, engage with the people that are eligible for this, and then hopefully, well, I'm sure we will, I have complete confidence that we will deliver the circa 30 properties a year in year 2 and year 3.
Thank you, Mr. Brooke. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Moody, please. And Councillor Daniel, welcome. Your hand was up before Councillor Moody's. So
thank you.
Happy for your comments.
I just want to say, as a comment that I was talking to the resident that we helped with the Warmer Homes grant last year, and she was saying how wonderful her home is now, how well the heat pump works and how small her electricity bill is now and how warm she is at home. So we can really congratulate ourselves that we've helped people in our area to keep warm, especially elderly people. And actually another couple have come forward to ask me if they could also be considered. So I've emailed Dave Sexton to see if they would be able to be eligible. But, I'm really pleased that we've got this grant, and I think we can pat ourselves on the back that we've done it. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Daniel. As they say, success breeds success. So Councillor Moody, please. Oh, right, okay. Right, everybody happy for a vote then, please? on the recommendation as set out on the screen. All those in favour, please.
That's unanimous for noting. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you very much. Right, if we can move to page 57 on the council tax reduction scheme and council tax discounts. We have Councillor Edmonds and we have Mrs Hotchkiss, who's, there she is in the room if we need her. Councillor Edmonds, please.
Thank you, Chair. Each year, the Council must agree a council tax reduction scheme to support residents on a low income who qualify for assistance with paying their council tax. The Council was one of the earliest adopters of an income-banded scheme, and it continues to work well, being easily understood by residents and offering a good level of financial support with paying council tax. Continuing to support our residents with cost of living pressures is a key priority for the Council, and it is recommended that the current scheme remains unchanged from the 1st of April 2026. It is further recommended that council tax discounts and premiums remain unchanged for 2026-27. This includes the continuation of the 100% second homes premium, recognising that second homes continue to have a negative impact on the availability and affordability of housing in West Devon. There are a number of other recommendations, mainly covering unoccupied dwellings, as set out in the report, and the no change approach strikes a balance between providing financial support to households and the prudent management of the council's finances. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions, please? No? So, Councillor Edmonds, would you like to move your
Yes,
report, please?
yes, thank you, Chair. I move the recommendations which can be found on pages 57, 58 of the agenda papers and also on the screen. Thank you.
I'm happy to second that. Would anybody like to debate the issue, please? He's not going to get quizzed. Oh, Councillor Jury, thank you.
Something in. Thank you. And thank you for the excellent report. I mean, my understanding is that in the scheme of things, our scheme is fairly generous, if I can put it that way. It seems a bit incongruous to describe it as that when we're talking about people who are extremely vulnerable and need our support. But nevertheless, I believe that as a council we're doing what we can on this, and I wholeheartedly support continuation of this scheme, which I think seems to me to be fit for purpose, and that the staff who administer it are doing a really good job in helping those people who are vulnerable within our community. So I will wholeheartedly support it.
Thank you, Councillor Jury. I have to agree with your statement. We are a generous council for helping vulnerable people. And I'm proud to lead a council that is so generous in helping people who find themselves financially strapped. It is something to be proud of. Not many councils deliver to the rate that we do, and to look at the money as we did earlier in the year when we were giving out payments for people to be able to receive, and to receive automatically from the lists that we hold. So thank you, Mrs Hotchkiss, and your team for the work that you do on this and the exemplary work that is carried out on the empty properties and second homes that you do. Anyone else? Councillor West.
I'm sure colleagues, members have seen the deprivation index that was published over the weekend, and the fact that West Devon is one of the best areas, better well off, more fortunate areas in the country apparently. And as we live here, we know that, but sometimes we forget that. However, I'm pleased about this because it does recognise, even in an area of such supposed wealth and benefit, there are individuals, there is that rural poverty around there, be it age, be it just distance, location, that this takes account of. So I'm very pleased to see this. And of course, as we've already stated, when we look at the second homes, that money we've already ploughed in this year into the housing offer and what we can do around homelessness and that. So I welcome this greatly, and long may it continue, and we can get funds in to help people in need. Thank you.
Councillor, hand on your mouse. Sorry, shall we take a vote, please? All those in favour?
That's unanimous for the recommendations. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Right, if we can move to page 73 of the agenda, please. This report, would you like to speak to it, and then we will say what we're doing?
You have the recommendations in front of you, but it was felt that perhaps a little bit more work might be needed to do on it. So I will leave that for you, Chair, to explain that.
Members, having had conversations with another member of our council, a lead member, and their group outcomes, and knowing the concerns that were raised when we had our briefing, we feel it's best to withdraw this paper until the 2nd of December, I think it is. We need to show that we've looked into grants and to see if there is other funding that we can be eligible for. And if we're not, the report can at least show that we did look and that we're not just relying on this money and coming to the council for this. When we've had a report that shows about the budget and the budget gap, etc., you know, some may consider it almost frivolous to be doing this at this time, but I want everybody to know that we are very keen that we should do this. It is the right thing to do, but we just need to check that we have looked at the business case and looked at it in the best way that we possibly can, so that we are getting, as they would say, best value for our residents of West Devon. So that paper will be formally withdrawn and will appear strengthened on the 2nd of December. Is everybody happy with that? Yep, thank you very much, members. So if we can now move to pages, where am I? If we could move to part 2, please, of the meeting. I'm happy to propose that we ask members of the press and the public to leave the meeting. And we will turn off. Councillor Daniel, you're going to be turned off for a moment. Oh no, you can still hear us. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't got a seconder yet.
I've just seconded.
Seconded.
I've been
And
second.
all those in favour? Thank you very
That's
much.
unanimous to move to part 2. Thank you, Leader.
Right, thank you. I've got to do it when everyone can hear it. Thank you. May I propose that we move back into open session and part 1, please?
Happy to second.
All those in favour, please? Thank you very much.
Part 1, thank you, Leader.
Thank you very much. And that is the close of the meeting. Thank you all very much. We're due to have